Yeah, it's lovely to be here. My name's Mark. I was here last year at Christmas. I'm going to try and do some different pieces. I hope I won't replicate anything. I'll do a piece first of all about me when I was younger. This is about me when I was 17 years old. I kind of grew up down near Bristol. I should say as well, I'm quite torn because I feel pretty rough. I feel pretty ill at the moment. I've been working in schools the last few days, helping kids. It's been pretty cool actually, writing poems about the election and how they feel politically about what's going on. We've had a lot of like Boris, your hair looks like a forest and stuff like that. Do you know what? Really amazing and switched on, and they seem to be really well informed. I think we definitely should lower the voting age. But we had loads of MPs come in to be interviewed by them, and I was amazed at the amount of dodging the question that was going on. But they gave him a tough time. I really enjoyed it. But yeah, I've kind of picked up a cold, but it's okay because I've got these board games here. I'm a total board game addict, so I'm kind of going to channel the power from them. Cool. So yeah, lucky to be here. First piece goes like this. When I was 17, I was called a jitter in my hometown. Now, jitters were guys who were renowned for our frowns and our interest in the post-grunge sound. With dyed hair, purple DMs bound tight, below shredded jeans and rock t-shirts, we thought we looked alright, and we found that looking alternative could get the girls a little bit flustered. It was something that was later to prove very popular for busted. So we cultivated a look similar to the modern day emo, just more well adjusted with brighter clothes. But in festival bands the colour of mustard and our black studded gloves, we looked dangerous and morose, being followed by security as we moped about in Waitrose. And while we sat on the swings, we smoked our roll-ups, we swigged on cider, and we moaned about grown-ups, and we talked about girls and the bands that we liked, and the plethora of heavier drugs we should try. Because we all listened to music, and we all read Kerrang! To us, artists and drugs, they sort of went hand in hand. Every artist we rated celebrated their blazing on festival stages, or else they'd rage against them in interview statements, complain that it aged them, and even that sounded great. We just wanted away. And it was frustrating, like some really bad joke, because the dealers around our way were nastier blokes, skinheads in puffer jackets. You get smashed to a pulp if you, as a jitter, tried blacking some dope. So each night we talked highs, just how much we lusted for some kind of drug, until Chen mentioned nutmeg. That's right, nutmeg is a drug. You print it off from the net, details of its psychedelic effects, plus a comment that one trip could be better than sex. And I have to confess, we were really impressed as guys who hadn't tried either of those yet. And so we swooped on our supplies facts, we started set up others, scooped up supplies, and we met with each other, we pulled the resources and grated the lot, we filled empty bottles of Robinson squash to the pieces, used water to top it all off, we did up the lids, and we swiftly took off. And we went to the witches, and we sat on the stumps, and we opened the bottles. Fuck, did they hum? But we weren't giving up upon what we'd begun. We held noses to thumbs, and proceeded to chug for about 30 seconds. And then we began to throw up. A lot. And as we threw up, we spluttered and roared, chucking up chunks of nutmeg on us all. Eventually, each of us gripped to the floor, heaving until we couldn't heave anymore. And as we all lay there, we spluttered and chatted of how we might die, our faces all plastered in each other's vomit, the nutmeg and acid. It felt like an age, just 2 hours had passed. And then it wore off, and we washed in the river, and we each headed home to safety and dinner. And I'm a lot older now. I don't want to spoil it with too many details. I've hugged a few toilets. I'm aware of the hard stuff. I choose to avoid it. I still drink, I sometimes smoke, and sort of enjoy it. My mates have grown too, so we moved on to bigger things. They have serious jobs now, and yet they seem to take everything. Yet some won't touch booze, some won't touch medicine, and some are a mess from the way drugs have messed with them. I met with one good friend the other day, and he promised me he'd give anything to go back to the point where only nutmeg had tested it. Cool, thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, right, we're getting there. Slow down. I apologise. I'm really disappointed with the ending now, bro. I've been performing for like 4 years, and I always feel like I just kind of like they don't know how it finishes. So this is what I do, genuinely my job. I write poems. I used to be an English teacher for 5 years. I was teaching secondary school English. My first teaching job was in Peterborough. I often at this point would say, like, has anyone been to Peterborough? Probably like almost everyone here has. And chosen not to live there. It's quite a good choice. I think most people go to Peterborough to like change train, It's not a massive train station. Some people go there to like get a passport in a hurry, and some people just go there to die a little bit inside. I think that was me. When I first moved there, it was about 14 years ago, and the first thing I saw as I left the train station was 3 boys standing outside the train station. Teenage boys. They were kicking around a cardboard box, and they'd set on fire. And I remember looking at it thinking, like, it's not like Bath, is it? Like, I don't know if I'm going to like it. I don't know. But I do, I love it now. They were in my first ever English class, and they kind of changed my life, those students, because they got me experimenting with stuff. I worked mainly with boys that were badly behaved, really badly behaved. A boy called Jordan was, like, horrendously badly behaved. I don't know if I've told people that hear this. He brought, like, an air rifle into school. Like, I'm just going to tell you what happened. Alright, I'll tell you what happened. Right, so Jordan was really bad, but one day he did something exceptional. Like, he'd normally do fights and stuff. One day he brought an air rifle into school in his rucksack. Not like a 2-armed like thing like that, but a pistol kind of thing. 5 metal BB gun pellets. He took it at a maths lesson and he shot another boy, probably about from where you are, Lucy, to where like you are there, just kind of held the gun up, shot this boy in the back of the head. It didn't do any serious damage, it stung, the boy swore, jumped up, it left a bruise, but they got in a fight and they were separated and they were taken along with a gun to the headmaster's office. I had no idea about it, I was teaching my English lesson, but because I was his head of year, like the head teacher emailed me an urgent email to tell me about it. And in my school, when you get an urgent email, it interrupts your whole lesson with like big red text. So I'm teaching year 10s, and up on the screen in big letters goes like, urgently need to see you at break time, Mr. Grist, from the headmaster. And I start like closing it down, and all my year 10s start going, oh, what have you done, sir? What have you done? Oh, you're in trouble, sir. You're in proper trouble. And I'm like, no, it's cool. I'm fine. The truth's fine. But in my head, I'm like, what is it? Because like, I ran like a lot of board games cards. Like, I had all that stuff like this all over the place. And I was like, oh, I don't know what it is. And I ran down to the office like in a panic at break time, like running in, going like, is everything all right, Peter? I hope everything's okay. Like, I'm really sorry about like the mess and stuff. And like the headmaster was sat staring at me at his desk with a gun on it. Alright, cool. And I was like, oh, it's everything alright. So no. Jordan brought this into school and he shot someone in the back of the head with it in a maths lesson. And I said, oh, that sounds bad. Like, that sounds really bad. Like, I've only been teaching a year, so I was like, I don't know, how bad is that? And he said, I think it's the biggest incident we've had since I've been head of the school. Right, I'm not really going to read you poems. I'm going to tell this story because it's like it's what happened, right? So, like, I go what are we going to do? And he goes, 3 things we're going to have to do. First thing, because it's a dangerous firearm, the police are going to come in and we're going to they're going to dispose of it properly. The second thing, we're going to send letters out to all the parents who are in the class to say that we're taking it seriously because we're worried that they might talk to the local paper if they think we're not taking it seriously because stuff can really spiral out on there. If anyone saw there was a story about a boy that because he was having a poo couldn't get some hot lunch or something in a primary school. That was a big viral thing this year. Check it out if you want it. But he's getting a good block. And the third thing he said, I'm going to get Jordan's mum in, I'm going to say we're permanently excluding Jordan from the school. Now, Jordan had been excluded twice before our school. The first school he was excluded from was Voyager Academy. There was a massive rumble. The school closed down for the day. When they picked it apart, he was back in year 7 then. Turned out he and a few other people had wound different factions up in the school and stuff, and so he got kicked out. Second school, he lasted 1 week. It was Thomas Deacon Academy in Peterborough. Within 1 week, he emailed the CEO of the academy, and all he said in the email was, "You're well gay, innit?" That's the whole email that he sent. Right? And the CEO just went to head of school, can you deal with this, can you do this, and all this. Never once thought maybe this could be a cry for help, and so if he leaves us, 3 schools, one stat I'm very aware of at this point is he's statistically more likely to end up in prison than not. Once a child's been excluded 3 times, that's statistically more likely than not. So I'm like, is there anything we can keep him? His homework's a bit better, everything, and everything I say, the headmaster goes, no, he shot someone with a gun. He shot someone with a gun. And in the end he goes, look, the only way he can stay is he'd have to be supervised by a teacher at all times. Every break time, every lunchtime. And I go, well, can we do that? And he goes, well, yeah, you can do it. You're his head of year. If you want Jordan to stay, you can have him with you every break time and every lunchtime. And I think about it for a bit and I'm like, alright, I don't really mind, that's fine, but Jordan, when I tell him he's gutted, he's like, no offense, you're like the least cool teacher in the whole school, you have all these board games in your classroom, you write poems and stuff, I can't be seen hanging out with you, I've got a bit of a reputation, and I'm like, we have to do poetry, and I've got the board games, and he's like, I'm not playing Monopoly with you, sir, it's not happening. And so I go, what do you want to do? And he thinks a bit, and he goes, can we do rap? And I go, okay, yeah, cool, we can do rap, that's fine. And then he gets pumped, right? He's like really, really enthusiastic. He lights up, like I saw him that first time when he was kicking around something that was on fire, right? And he was like, oh, can my mates come in? Can we do freestyle cycles? Can we do rap battles in the classroom? So that'd be sick. And I go, I don't know why those things are. All right, yeah, fine. So every day, Jordan's escorted, for like a whole term, he was escorted by a responsible member of staff to my classroom. And then once he gets there and the bell goes, all his mates come in because the heads didn't say I couldn't do that, right? And we run it as a club. It's like a hip hop club. Jordan's a prisoner, but he's not acting like it. He takes the register, like he chooses which rappers they watch. Like he gets really like into it. Like he starts setting people off if they're not like doing it properly. It's a bit weird, but like he's like, and they basically just watch videos of like Eminem and 50 Cent and stuff, and they copy down the lyrics and then they put the beats on and they write their own lyrics. And a lot of them are about stabbing people and setting fire to things, but like it's better, right? And also, it's not that different to me writing my poems, and that's what really gets me thinking. I'm like, I don't get what the difference is. So we're doing this for a while, and then Jordan and his mates go like, so you write bars as well, innit? And I go, no, I don't write bars, I write poems. And they go, yeah, you're like a poet thingy of Peterborough. And I was like, oh, okay. So at this time, I was made the poet laureate of Peterborough, which is pretty crap. Yeah. We go to like the summer sausage supper was our big event every year, and like, people just ignore me. And they're like, you're a poet? And I go, yeah, poet. And they go, what's it mean? And I go, oh, it means poet of importance. And they're like, what, of Peterborough? I was like, yeah. And they go, that's crap. But I was like, it's not too bad. I'm like, what do you do though? And I go, like, I read poems to people, and people just a bit rude, no one really cares. And they kind of like, they weren't happy about it. They were really annoyed. And then at the end of the session, when I left the door, as I leading them out, they collared me at the door and like, so it's solved your problem. I was like, what do you mean? And he goes, like, the mayor and everyone's being rude to you, sir, right? They're not showing you respect, right? You should write a diss track. So kill them out. And they were like, that's what Tupac would have done and stuff. And I was like, yeah, that didn't go well. But I don't think that's a good idea. Like, but they went away, and I thought about it, and I thought, what I kept thinking was, like, these boys were, like, regularly, like, ignored. That's how it felt, like no one ever listened to them. They said they hated English, but they loved writing, and I didn't get that, and I felt when the curriculum was ignoring them as well. And I was like, well, maybe I should listen to them a bit. So I went away, I couldn't rap, but I was like, I wrote a poem about how I feel, so this is the poem I wrote. I'm just going to read this poem and then a rap at the end to tell you the story, that's it, if that's okay. This is what I wrote, it goes like this. The start is removed, and the main course emerges. When I'm asked what I do for a living, our host's reaction verges on the incredulous. Half-digested food that's been fed to us spittoons from his lips, and he leans in, snarls and quips. A teacher, eh? Wouldn't catch me wasting my time with the day's youth, just a bunch of grubby little shits. The wolves laugh around him, applaud the wit that he just fired. His wife smooths my arm like it was tablecloth, purrs, no wonder he looks so tired. The room erupts again because I laugh, and I laugh too, because she's right. I am pretty tired. I'm tired from a day spent saying, tuck in that shirt, from getting kids into lines, making girls unroll their skirts. I'm tired of setting tests to the grumbling, the complaining. Exams get me stressed, giving detentions can be draining. And who'd have guessed it'd be so tiring, making lessons entertaining? The kids don't care because someone's farted or had a nosebleed. It's just fucking raining, and I'm tired of working with artists, with athletes, with dancers. I'm tired of asking questions till I realise maybe I don't know all the answers. And then I'm tired from watching the sparks that fly behind young eyes. The heroes born in the classroom, the self-worth they realise, and then those other kids. The ones where you have to tie it on a line, dive deep inside, rescue the shreds of confidence that another adult rusted up inside. I'm tired of scrabbling at those locks and dredging back those poles and saying, well done, I'll see you next week. Let them back out into the world. I'm tired of teaching year 8 boys that flirting isn't just kicking girls. And I'm tired of working with young people who invest in their community, but aren't happy accepting our banal shirt-sleeve mediocrity. And while the efforts of the majority sink to the back of our local papers, the kid with the blade who hates the war because nobody taught him better gets plastered on page 1. So when I am tired, when all our hard work is done, I get to stand on duty, watch those grown-ups' fearful looks, directed at my young minds laughing as they travel home with their books. Mostly right now, I'm tired because yesterday we were discussing poverty in Rwanda, and throughout it my students were irate, raw with anger. They just couldn't understand the fact that young people die of starvation in our world by the score. And when one girl asked me, so how can this even happen? How can you adults let the poor stay poor? It just got me thinking all night about what I once stood for. So yeah, you may all be successful. This meal may well be Michelin, but I'd swap the swine around me now for a dozen kids on Ritalin, because those grubby little shits won't learn your layers of indifference. And yeah, I am tired, I'm exhausted, but teaching's what I do. I feed others before I feed myself, so the fingers crossed I never become as overfed as you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. So I read it to the boys in the club, and Drew was like, I like that one, sir, it's better than... Oh, you said shits in it, sir, it's better. I was like, alright, shit. So like, we kept the club going, and over the next few weeks, it was amazing. Like, they were writing stuff constantly, the English grades were going up, but at the same time, the rest of the school was chilling out, like mega chilling out. Turns out a lot of the boys that were kicking off at break times and lunch times were now in my rap club, and so the rest of the place was like something like Zen Garden and Tranquility. It was like cool, and like, everyone was like, oh, this young head of year, maybe he's not like maybe he's actually alright and stuff. So it was cool, and then it went horribly wrong, because on Sunday night, about midnight, over by the school, they had like a big Tesco's, like this massive Tesco's, like on the wall of it, you can see it from the staff car park, basically, as you drive in, you see it. They graffitied that wall in huge letters with their own names. First names and surnames. It's the shortest investigation we've ever had into anything in the school. I turned up in the car, I saw it, and was just like, no, and sat in the car park thinking, also, the graffiti art is one of the core components of like a hip-hop culture, and I'm like, this looks like the club as well, this is really bad. And I went to the front desk to go into school, and the headmaster was there, and he said, we need to have a chat, yeah. And I was like, yeah, okay. And we went to his office, and he said, look, I like Jordan, but you have to have standards. Where we are, if we don't have standards, this place will get burned to the ground. I already feel like behaviour has got worse since we allowed him to bring the gun in, right? And we didn't do anything properly about that. I'm going to be setting an example. I'm going to permanently exclude all 3 boys that were involved in the graffiti. And I try and argue it a bit, but like he's right, like you do need standards, and he's the head, and I literally was like 1 year out, and he was like, okay, yeah, and I went out, and I was so gutted that they were being kicked out, and it was over something so stupid, and then I saw them in the corridor at the office, and they're like strutting like this, like really full of themselves, because everyone's chatting about the graffiti, so that their social currency is pretty high, and I was like, you did what? I just kicked off in the corridor, but I can't believe all this kind of stuff. I was like, your own name is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. And so I going on and all this, and I was like, no, and I explained to them what's happening. You're being permitted from your school. Your only chance now is your appeal. So my school back then, Hampton, was not an academy. Like my head resisted academies. He didn't think they were a good thing. I don't think they are. He felt that no head should have that level of authority and autonomy. He actually liked us to kind of challenge him. He was quite an interesting, cool guy. I really liked him, and he liked everyone to have an appeal before you did any major decision. So the deal was they'd have like a reduced timetable, mostly achievement support, core subjects. We build pupil at risk of exclusion packs, which you don't have to do in academies either, which is really bad, which is why people slide so much people through and they get kicked out. But we do all the paperwork properly, and they get an appeal. And I can try and build evidence as their lawyer, basically, the appeal in front of the parents, governors, that they've turned it around. So I go, that's my only chance. And they start going, oh, sir, it's not fair, sir, why is it always us? I was like, what? It's because you graffiti the wall with your own names, because you brought a gun in and shot someone in a maths lesson, George. Remember that? And he was like, oh yeah, that one was quite bad. I was like, good, I'm glad you know that. And he was like, yeah, but it's hard, sir, it's hard. I was like, it's not hard. So don't shoot anyone, don't graffiti anyone, don't kick anyone, don't chuck a yogurt on anyone at lunchtime. It's basically about it. And they go, yeah, but it's like, you don't understand, sir, because you're good. You know how to do good things, sir. We're bad, and we know we're bad. We've always been bad, so you don't understand. It's hard to be good if you know that you're bad. When they say that, like, I stop and I realise what they're saying, and like these boys, I can't go into the details, but like their folders were big when I went through them. Like they have a lot of stuff. They don't have a table to work out at home. They don't have like a safe environment to be in outside of the school walls. Like they're not guaranteed to get a hot meal. They don't receive positive reinforcement, and it's really hard to do good things in this world, I think, if you don't feel good about who you are. But I'm like, boys, it's your behaviour. I would do anything to keep you here, but it's on you. And as soon as I said this, they stopped listening, and they go, like, what are you chatting? I'm like, what? And they go, so you said you would do anything to keep us here? And I said, oh, like, within reason, obviously. And then Jordan went, would you enter a rap battle? He said, what? And then they all started talking at once. I said, whoa, what are you saying? And they explained, the reason they graffitied the wall, they got really pumped. This was like a few years ago, like, Peterborough was a cultural cold spot according to the Arts Council. It's 4 of them. It means that nothing happens. It's when you might as well set fire to something and kick it around, right? But the one thing that happened every year at this point was the East of England King of the Mic rap battle tournament, where like rappers across the East of England would come together, they would compete with each other in this tournament in a nightclub called Dissident. Doesn't exist anymore, it was a drug den, the bouncers sold ketamine for like some kind of big drug dealer. It was really bad. And they were like, we wanted to enter it, but we couldn't. And I was like, no, you're like 14 years old, it's in a nightclub, boys. You can't do that. And they're like, yeah, but we were talking, sir. You could enter it, right? You're well old. If you sign up, they'll have to let you in the competition. We thought we could train you up in the club. You could beat everyone in the rap battle tournament, win the trophy, keep in the classroom, sort of be sick, be a legend, and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, well, no, that's not going to happen. I'll get beaten up, that's not going to work. But they're like really into it. Again, like lit up, like they were with a burning cardboard, like everything else. And I go, you really want to do this? I go, so yeah, you're so pleased to be amazing, be a legend, all this. I'm really about legend, so legend. All right. So I said, look, how about this? I said, I'll do it. And I'm like, legend, sir. And I'm like, no. Just like, here's the deal. If all three of you get through the appeal and you stay, then I'll do it. Sounds wicked, I'd love to. Oh, well, wicked idea, but if one of you gets kicked out, because you're not good enough, then I won't do it. Only all three of you have to stay. I'm like, yes, legend. And they're like, half me like this. And they run down the corridor, and they spin back, and as they're spinning back, one of them goes like, we'll be good, sir, we'll be good. As he does it, he knocks the year 7 boy like with his bag, right? And the year 7 boy like on his face on the floor. So like he's literally going like, we'll be good, sir, we'll be good, and just leaves him, and they run off. And I go and help the year 7 boy up, and I'm like, no, you won't. Like maybe a little bit. I honestly think one of them I can save, and I think the head sometimes puts these things in front of us to fight for them a bit, and I think I can get one. But Jordan's definitely going, and the head said he's definitely going to go. So I'm like, it's cool, I won't worry about it. But the next week I started getting emails from teachers saying Jordan started helping people with their homework. And I get offering to hand out their books, and they'll email me and stuff like that. Finding things as well. You get finding things that were going missing. Often people believe that he hidden them in the first place, so he could then find them and then not listen. But I'm getting inundated with these emails. The second week I was walking down the corridor, and one of the other boys was a teacher, and she's walking down the corridor, he's like carrying her books for her down the corridor, and as I walked past him, he's carrying the books, and he led around them and went, 2 more weeks, sir. The third week they started an anti-bullying campaign. It was really bad. They didn't tell any of the teachers. They called it the Befrienders, because over at Sawtree there's a really good group called the Befrienders, or there were. And so they called themselves the Befrienders, and the deal with the Befrienders that they told everyone in year 7, if you got bullied that day, if you went and told the Befrienders at their desk in the hall, at the end of the day, the name and the tutor group of the person that bullied you, and how they get in or out of school, they'll find them and make sure they never bully you again. It was the mafia, it was really bad. So we got that sorted out. The 4th week I ran a whole school assembly where they tried to show how improved they were, and they tried water over everyone, and the year 7s had to wear PE kit for the rest of the morning. But everyone's like, they're trying, right? They're trying. So we looked at the appeal, and all 3 of them got to stay. On behaviour contracts that were custom made for these guys. But everyone agreed they're really trying. Let's try and see if we can keep them in. So I was very proud of it, but I was very scared. It was the last day before Christmas, and I knew they were coming to find me to sign up for the East of England King of the Mud rap battle tournament. So I was hiding in my classroom, saw them down the corridor, they're with their head, and they're striding along this 10 feet high by now. And so they get to my room, they lean on the door, and I can hear them saying to their head stuff like, oh yes, our learning's well important now, so yeah, we were really excited about doing our science work, so yeah. And one of them's going say hello to your wife for us, sir, and stuff, because she was waiting outside during the appeals. And then he goes, and then they come in, and the moment the door shuts, properly shuts, they go ballistic. They start jumping around in the room, going so you're fucking dead, sir. I can't swear. No, yeah, but you're dead, so you're dead, so you've got to do it. And I was like, all right, well, what do I do? So we went on the website, and before I went home for Christmas that year, we signed me up for the East of England King of the Mud rap battle tournament. And I was really scared. I watched 8 Mile over the Christmas. Didn't help. It looks really horrible, right? You just face someone and you say horrible things to them. You have to rhyme and use techniques and stuff. You can't just go, you're a dick. You have to use kind of techniques. But I was worried I could get in trouble, and I was a bit scared. And Jordan said, sir, it's all right. Being a rapper is like being a superhero. Your name, you have your own separate name. Your power's in that. That's where it can all be and everything. And so, call yourself something. So my surname's Grist. I was Mr. Grist. So my suggestions over Christmas were that we called me Gristina Aguilera was my first suggestion, which she didn't like. I then suggested Cristiano Ronaldo, which she didn't like. He wanted me to call myself Gristal Meth. Which was arguably the best name, but it was just got a bit too raw. I wanted to call myself Agatha Christie, but he didn't know who that was. So in the end, we agreed that I would call myself the Count of Monte Cristo. Yeah. So that went into the thing. There's a YouTube video they put out where they announced the battlers, and like this guy G in the video, like he goes like, first up in the tournament, Omen. Big. Now I should say at this point, Omen is like the most respected and feared MC in the city. We have a few gangs in Peterborough. They don't sound scary, but these guys are called the bottom end soldiers, and they mostly get like metal bars in their coats, and they get a bus over to the side of town where my school is, and they go around the housing projects, and they're like kind of like, I don't think they've ever beaten anyone up, but they like chase the younger kids around and like throw their weight around and stuff. It's like Omen, and like he's their MC. Versus the cat, and he starts laughing when he's reading my name. They keep cutting it, he's like, the cat, not Grist, and he goes, that's the wackiest name in hip hop. And then at the end of the video, he's like, so it's going to be sick of that, but yeah, whoever the Count of Monte Cristo is, sort your life out, bruv. And that's how the video finishes. And so, around the East of England, people start going, who is the East of England, who is the Count of Monte Cristo? And it leaks that it's not a rapper everyone knows, it's the secondary school English teacher from the part of town that the bottom end soldiers and Omen are like at war with. And tickets sell out for the event in like 40 hours. Everyone's excited about it, but everyone's like also very much like, very clearly looking for me to get like, bodies. Like, Omen makes his own video with a barbecue, and it's like, I don't know why the barbecue's in his video, but he's like, he's got a video up and he's like, I'm going to destroy this English teacher, wreck him, ruin him, take him to class, his mates inside, I'm going to fuck him up, and then we're like, we're going to shank you, we're going to stab him after. He's talking about stabbing in the car park and like kneecapping me and break my fingers. It's really graphic. I had no idea about this, but I found out in my rap club when Jordan ran in and went, so we're going to call that video when we put it up on the screen. And I saw a grown man never before talking about putting me in hospital. I had about 2,000 views and I freaked out. And I was like, shit. I was like, he said he's going to cut me up. And Jordan went, no, so you'll be alright. That's just how rappers talking. He's never been convicted. It'll be fine. It's just like, it's just hyping the battle up. And I was like, I don't want to do it. And then we go, that's not even the bad bit. And I said, what's the bad bit? And they go, you know what happens if you can't rap in Dissident? And I said, no. I said, basically, the rule at Dissident, they didn't sell pint glasses, they just sold glass bottles. And the rule was if someone couldn't rap on the Friday or Saturday night, people would like legit allow to chuck bottles at them and try and get them on stage by hitting them on the head with a glass bottle. Yeah, Jordan and the rest of the boys thought it was genius. They were like, yeah, if you chuck a bottle, sir, you've got to buy another bottle. So, alright. So yeah, I bottled it and I didn't want to do it, and we had a big argument about it, and in the end I decided I'd do it. I didn't know what to do. The only solution we could come up with, Jordan said, was go to the club a week before the battle. He was like, jump up on the stage and just rap to everyone. He's like, then they'll respect you and they won't throw bottles during the thing. And I was like, no, they'll just throw bottles then, won't they? Like, I don't know what's any different, but that's what we did. Me, Mr. Wood from Drama, Miss Toppins from Science, we went down to the club about 11 o'clock at night. I wore my suit, which part of the deal with the boys is that I would do the battling in the suit. And the bouncers looked at me like you don't wear a suit for discipline, right? And they're like, what do you want? They thought I was like a police officer or something. And I was like, nah, can I come in and I rap to everyone? Is that right? And they're like, nah, get lost. And it got quite heated, and I said, can we get the manager out? And the manager did come down eventually. He was bigger than the bouncers, and he was like, you better jog on, mate, and all this. It got really intense. And so in the end I went, oh look, I'm really sorry. I didn't introduce myself properly. My name is the Count of Monte Cristo. And as soon as I said it, like, he stopped frowning, he started like smiling, and he went, oh, you're the Count of Monte Cristo. Oh, you can rap, mate, come on. So like, he took us in. It was really busy. It was about 250 to 300 people in like a sweatbox room. And he's like, you sure want to do this? And they were like, people were drunk, people were like gurning around, like people were really messed up. And he's like, and the music started, he said, sure want to do this? I was like, yeah. So he went like that to go on the decks. The guy stopped playing music, and he grabbed the mic, and on the mic in the club, as everyone's going, like that, he went, who wants to hear an English teacher rap? And one person somewhere in the club went, yeah. And he went, go on then, mate, do you rap? So this is the rap I performed. I performed this, and I give you like about a minute and a half of explain what happened at the end, and then I'm off. But thank you very much. I really enjoyed just telling me this really weird thing that happened. So I got up on the stage, became aware of like two things. The first thing is like no one looked mean or hostile at all. Everyone looked really confused. But also every single person I could see had a glass bottle in their hands. I didn't know how to rap at this point. Right? My problem was that all the guys that like they watched in the lessons, they were kind of like tough and they were dangerous and they're really good at rapping. And I'm not tough and I'm not dangerous and I don't think I can rap. But Jordan was like, he's like, tell the truth, sir. Hip hop above all of that is about truth. He's like, tell them what they need to hear, not what they want to hear, then they'll respect you. And I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool, I like that. So the truth is I'm not tough and I'm not dangerous, but if I was to choose a time when I am tough and dangerous, it's when I'm playing board games and card games. Right? So that's what I rapped about. This is a really bad rap. I'll just show you what I did. So this is it. If you can picture everyone's looking at me, this is my first line. If you want to play a game, try and count along to the board games and card games. I do have a book for sale at the end. This is in that, if you want to check it out. I normally do this in schools. But yeah, board games and card games. This was my opening line. I started out by going, this is a safety announcement for all the rappers in the building. Particularly you grimers, angry little rhymers, using crappy one-liners to think your life is violence. The truth is at the weekend, you're all youth work providers. Badly dressed Power Rangers, generous but spineless. Think you're a threat to me? No way do I buy this. You get those fake tracks, keep on playing, those fake words you keep on saying. You're not dangerous, but I am when I'm playing board games. Because you boys in the hood think you're up to no good, bit of skills that nice are lame. I'll top trump you weak punks, you'll get trashed. Ink up plunk, yeah, I'm really good at board games. I'm like an MB innovation. Rolling dice, dishing cards without any reservation. When it comes to risk, I tell you this, I am the global nation. Coming at you through Kamchatka like a cannon infestation. A Stone Age deforestation. I give mousetrap demonstrations. In every game of operations, like a military operation, used to make the observation of the career of my pursuit. I'm getting skulls every evening when I'm out of my suit, playing the odds on Pirates Cove, stealing your booty. I did pretty well in atmosphere, though that DVD was spooky. I don't care about a loss against you in Call of Duty, because I beat you and guess who? When I was Sue and you were James. That's because I'm really good at board games. If it's Punch Out, I'll split your lip. If it's poker, I'll take each chip. Buckaroo, I'll make you make him kick. Then lightning quick, you'll find I've sunk your battleships. I fry bacon when I play past the pigs. Till you wee, all the way home on my meatball. And lethal in each game of Carcassonne. I'm in the zone in Monopoly. Just no stopping me. I'll have a piece of that little silver doggy. Start up the orange crap property on Mayfair again. Oh, what will you offer me? Because you boys think you're tired. Think you're up for a fight, but you cleared it, prepared for the pain. I'll dice you all up. As long as it ain't a school night, I'm really good at board games. I'm better than good. I'm very good. Trained well since the cradle to dominate any kitchen table. Certain as I can tell, I get more than Castle Grayskull, where you get the sheep, which is sheep, and your bartering's pretty painful. You want to role play while I dabble, but rather take you out in a game of Scrabble, where we triple word scores, but they were lethal short swords, spitting fire onto the board, so second place is your reward, because the boys in the hood think they're up to no good, but heroes live forever. And don't remember any of your fakey rap names, and I'm probably going to get the crap kicked out of me tonight, but I'm still really good at board games. Cool. Thank you very much. Alright, cool. So 1.5 minutes sum up. Alright, so I built this truck, class bottles of me, they didn't, they started laughing. When I finished, they started chirping, and around the back of the room, people start going, suit dude, and that. And I know that sounds a bit Bill and Ted, but it's way better than getting a glass bottle in your face. So I was like, cool, I'm suit dude, nice to meet you, how's it going? And they were like, suit dude sick, and they were like, cuffing me, and I was like, oh, cool. And they were like, yeah, good look against home, and he's going to kill you. And I was like, I'm very aware of that. So I went back and I did a week of teaching and prepping with the boys, and I went back to the battle with Owen. He was really good. In the first round of the battle, he said that I looked like constipated James Corden. It's quite good. He said that I looked like a wrinklier version of Gordon Ramsay, which is less true. The other one is clearly true. And then he finished the first round by saying that he was going to smash me like a paedophile's window. Powerful image. I suppose there's nothing else. So my first round is what I could do as an English teacher. I pointed out a few of his grammatical errors in his first round. How would he get a higher grade if it was a speaking and listening assessment? Basically just trying to help him be better at doing the job and telling him I really believed in him. There's something quite weird about seeing someone flip the tables and doing that. So people find it quite funny. And his second round he had some good stuff. But he started freestyling. He'd said in the video, actually, that he posted he was going to freestyle the whole second round. We only did these battles as 2 rounds when we did this. And sometimes freestyling works, sometimes it doesn't. It got a bit weird, it wasn't very good. I think he got nervous because the audience started to go quiet on him. He started saying things like, look at you in your shoes. You're gonna lose, which like didn't really work. And then it went so badly, he got up in my face at the end of it and he went, and you went to university. That doesn't work with me, bruv. And like he pushed me, and I thought we were pushing off the stage a bit, but like he's really thin and I'm not, so I just kind of went like that. But there's something about the push, I don't know, I turned back and I said, I went to university, is that the best that you've got? I took your mother to the opera and perused her private box. And like everyone in the club went, "Ah!" like that. So I won the rap battle. It was really weird. Like, everyone's like, Sudu won, Sudu be Omen, Sudu go. And Omen was like really embarrassed, embarrassed to get established, went home, and then everyone was like, well, good luck next week. And I was like, oh shit, that's when I qualified for the quarterfinals. I thought that'd be here. So I went away, I went back the next week for the quarterfinals. My opponent in the quarterfinals didn't show up. Apparently it was so embarrassing for Omen to lose to me, the bottom men soldiers didn't want to work with him anymore. So like, no one wanted to battle me. So they just called out my name, and people went, Sudu, Sudu, and I stood on the stage and went, hello. And then the next one, I was getting to go through Fireboy in the semi-finals. He was really good, but he choked for part of his second round. And I worked out a freestyle flip by then. Some of the MCs have been teaching me how to do that. And so I got like a good punch of that, so I scraped my way through and won that. So I ended up in the grand final of the Eastern thinking that my marathon. And I turned up, the bouncer was like, hello mate. I was like, hello. And there were a lot of people that turned up to the final wearing like baseball caps and hoodies and stuff, but a lot of people turned up to the final wearing suit jackets and ties and top hats. And people holding up signs saying, give them a detention and stuff like that. It was cool. It was really cool. My opponent in the final was a guy called Mixie. And Mixie is, without a doubt, one of the greatest writers I've ever got the chance to work with. We both quit our jobs the following year and tried to see if he worked in a call centre. He got no GCSE grades higher than a D. Like, he didn't get a single grade for anything higher than a D. He's one of the best writers I've ever met in my life. I felt very lucky to have him as my best man when I got married. And what's amazing is he now teaches in China, and I'm going to spend 4 weeks touring with him in January. It's the first time I've seen him for like 2 years. I properly like spent some proper time with him. But yeah, and a really good example again of like someone that's an amazing writer who's been completely ignored by a curriculum. So yeah, that was amazing. I thought that'd be it, but it wasn't. I had parents come up to me at parents' evenings going, "Do we call you Mr. Grist or the Count of Monte Cristo?" I had one mum at parents' evening in year 9. A year 9 mum sat down with me, and the first thing she said was, "Oh, Mr. Grist, you're not going to take me to the opera." So I had left teaching and I was doing the touring with Mixie, and it was really hard. It's always been quite hard, like trying to work out how to make a living doing this. I love doing it, but then I bumped into Jordan. He was redoing his English because he got to know his maths. He got a C in English, but he didn't manage to get a C in maths. And I was like, go on, do it. He was like, you should go and battle again. You like being mean to people. And I was like, all right, go on then. So I went to battle for a league called Don't Flop. And at the time it was a big league. And I battled a guy called Blizzard, and it became. Went viral, went crazy viral. It became the most viewed UK versus UK rap battle of all time. It's got about 4.5 million views, and so now it's really weird. Like Red Bull send me to different countries to insult people in rhyme, and I go and work like I did this week in schools, and I help lots of boys like Jordan work out how they can express themselves, about how they feel about more politically, and they can feel like they can have a voice, and they can like express themselves. So I love it, and I love my job, and I've got something I think I might owe for it. And I think my parents a bit, yeah, and like stuff like that, but they all thought I was losing my mind when I did all this stuff. The people who really believed me the most and helped me find the thing I loved more than anything else was 3 teenage boys who were kicking in cardboard boxes on fire at the train station. So you never know who's going to help you find the thing you love doing. Cool, thank you very much.